Hello, everybody. We're live now. We're now very much live in the market. New York session has just begun. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Welcome. All of you, welcome. We've just started right now. We've just got started. We will be on this session, the NASDAQ. We are going to be right here watching the NASDAQ together, watching the stock indices of the US together for the next hour or 1.5 hours. How will it look like? Will the NASDAQ break? So good afternoon. Good afternoon, traders. Good afternoon, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We are here. It's a Pip Oven. We're coming from a very, very, very good London session, if I can tell you. Beautiful. So we are now kind of monitoring the NASDAQ. We're going to be monitoring closely what the NASDAQ will do. We are going to be seeing if there could be opportunities there, but it looks like they're going to be very solid. We have just noticed right now, before you guys joined in, that the USD ZAR has just hit the support of 1425 as expected. So that's what we have already seen there. So we're excited to see that. It looks like we're going to be witnessing the dollar here reaching some form of support or rather resistance, you know. So we are hoping to see the end of that, which seems like it's a Wednesday movie, the rally of the dollar from Wednesday night after the interest rate decisions. So that move you are still ongoing, very, very lethal to many. And then right now we have just seen, I just want to get hold to see if we cannot get the, I think it's going to be on the New York session. Just want to see if I can get that USD ZAR play again. Yeah, looks like this one. Yeah, there it is. So it looks like pretty much that we have just seen the pound now bouncing, you know, on the higher point. There is the dollar bouncing on the 1326. We were expecting this level to happen. That's exactly. So already once it does this, we are beginning to see, you know, the signal of a dollar, the end of the dollar strength that started early this week and continued to fuel after Wednesday night. So that is it. That is the supply level. The dollar is on the daily, or if I'm not mistaken, this must be the H4 supply. Yes, that's the H4 supply zone right there. So there is the 4-hourly supply zone after a serious demand caused by the interest rate decisions of the US on Wednesday night. Guys, this is the opportunity. I always just want to just call it straight that if you are scalpers, just be careful on how you do. The timing has got to be accurate. If you are a short-term trader, your timing has got to be somewhat very accurate. All right. So just be careful about that. So as you wait for more other guys to be joining us, I think most of them could be traveling back home after a long week and after spending some time in the market. So I'm not done yet. If there's any pair that would like us to consider, please send it to us. Let us look at it together. This is a live market analysis. But currently, if I'm not a just pure counter-trend trader, I would be looking at a short trade of the USD ZAR immediately around the 14.2026. If the stop loss should be just around, it's pretty far, I think. But I think some of them would like the breakout, and then from there they can go out at 425, 426, 1426, 1425 is what we've been watching. You can see that if I can bring the MACD, then those who are not here, they will just see that we've already done with the MACD. There is the MACD. The MACD is showing a big bearish divergence there, not a small one, massive big bearish divergence. Of course, the histogram, rather the MACD trigger line is still above the histograms there. So for some of the guys, that would be a concern. The momentum is still positive for now. So you could be wanting to see that momentum going to the downside, waiting for these histograms to just go below the trigger line. That's how they use the MACD. But otherwise, in terms of just price, you could be waiting for the very nice price action candle there on H1. seems like it's falling already. This candle is a spinning top, a nice pin bar, nice hammer right there. Then we're just going to be waiting. Nice morning star. We're just going to be waiting to see if we can get another bearish candle. And those who trade pure price action know that this will be the time to go. So still others waiting for confirmation, but we, as expected, we're waiting for a rejection of the buyers around 1426, and it has exactly happened around 1426. So 1426 is what we've been marking for the whole week. It's not just because of today's session. We've been monitoring the USD ZAR to break above the 1395, the 14 trend level USD, to break the 14 rand level, and now it is at 1425, 1426 is to be exact. We expected the price to be there. So what do you have? What would you like us to look at? Like we did this morning, we had a very beautiful markets this morning. This is a beautiful markets. The London session has done pretty well for us. Let's just recap if you're still there. Let us just recap to check what the London session did today. We had a beautiful session. If you're a short-term trader and you are trading the London session with us, we had a very good attendance. Thank you so much for everybody who attended the London session with us this morning. We left the London. We are now in the New York, and there is our key, and that is the keys of the take profit. That is the keys of the take profit. So in the London session this morning, we were looking at the pound dollar. We're looking at it on M15. The London session broke the New York session low, and then they continued to retest. And then from there's the retest, and they continued during the London session to sell the pound against the dollar, or they continue to buy the dollar. Now we are entering the New York session. Not a good time to be trying to buy, I must warn you. Again, so we're going to be looking for price action. Some of us who are looking for a buy in there. We spoke about the GBP USD, that it is on some form of rally-based drop. We spoke about it. There it is. So that's what we spoke about. Could this be the reversal? We have got to wait for price action for those who are buying. For those who made a short-term sell in the morning, this is a profit-taking level, which I would suggest that take your money and be safe if you are still on the trade. I hope you monitored it. It's about 70 pips just of risking about 10 pips. So the entry was just about at the retest of this resistance. As we discussed this morning, you guys who were there, you remember, you were just about to take about 70, 75 pips just for 10 pips after a scrambling of stop losses there. Some could have been hunted. Apologies if your stop loss was hunted and found. So it looks like the 15 pips was an appropriate one. Just about 5 more pips went out. It looked for 12 pips, 2 more pips on the upside to look to hunt for some scalpers there. But 70 pips in a day that you made just from the London session itself before it can close, it's not such a bad thing to have. So we are now going to be looking to see if the dollar would come to an end. According to the indication of the pound dollar, the USD ZAR rather, which we come from, we have just seen that the price have just come to the price had just approached the level where it is asking for buyers. The pound is asking for buyers, or we could say that the dollar is now asking for those who are interested in selling. The momentum is still pretty big to the downside though, but here we're just using technical levels. We will see how the fundamentals are going. We don't know if they would like to finish like that. If they would like to finish it like that, then that would be a beautiful thing for the dollar. Perhaps even to start next week with a very nice bullish sentiment right there. Okay. If you do have got some pair that you'd like to consider, please drop us a message right there in your chat box or in your comment section. Just tell us which pair would you like us to look between now and possibly 5:30 or 6 o'clock as I sip my coffee, my tea, basically. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Okay. Big selling of the pound. It's happening as we speak right now. Big selling of the pound, not a small one. Massive selling. Okay, that's a massive selling of the pound right now. Right. Let's go back to the New York session. As the guys come in and other people join us, we will be talking about that. We can talk about the USD CAD. We can talk about the NASDAQ. As we say, we are monitoring the NASDAQ. We are monitoring the US 500. There is still dropping, not a good sign at all. Though it's holding this 100 levels. This is the US 500, but it looks very tough. The gold is also looking like it's wanting to hold to the support of the 1766, 1765. We'll talk more about that. So all these are on the cooking pen for today. So don't worry, we're gonna be looking at them all. Yeah, there is the USD CAD, rather the USD Euro dollar. Okay, looks like the Euro dollar has entered the block in which it must drop right up to the bottom there, 280 pips each block. Okay, this is just, if you love the art of the market, this is what we do best. So you can see that this is more like cubes or blocks in which the euro dollar is moving in, and each block consists of 280 pips. And now we can see that the only way, according to my analysis, the only point at which the euro dollar would stop would be at the bottom there. So it must drop 280 pips once it gets into the block. So from the 280 pips, enter the 280 pips. No, does not look like there's anything that's about 280 pips. So we're expecting it to be stopping right at the bottom there. And then from there, it could be bouncing either to the next block or stay in the same block. So we'll see. This is just how we monitor that. We are also going to be looking at the UK oil. As we said, the pound dollar is really on a free fall. I just want to keep warning you guys that this one is on a free fall. I can try. We could look if it can make a retracement of 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1, 2, 3 form of a retracement, which it would like to attempt, but we would like to see if that's gonna work. Even if you need to buy there, the waiting needs to be somehow a longer form of of waiting. But if we can use the theory that I'm just using now, the theory of using building blocks, to go to the upside, you can see that this range could also be equal to the base. There it is. If I can take that base, you could see that, there where the market was basing, there was the base. Then from there, perhaps this could be just the same as the bottom and the top, slightly bigger, but that's what it could decide to do there. So we are expecting that currently that the market, perhaps the dollar may settle here and start consolidating within this range. That's still bearish. So that's the second block. So we're expecting that it could just stay here within this range, and then from there start consolidating, go and hit the top, and then from there drop again. So that's what we're hoping to see about the euro dollar. But we are supposed to be waiting for price action. Sometimes these don't happen. It's not always they happen. That's why counter trading is not for novice traders. We know we need to monitor signals. We need to monitor way more things than now. Because it may not consolidate there. Perhaps it may want to come and use the very bottom of the market. You'll never know. That's what it could do. So having to buy there is going to be only on price action. But if there's no price action, then we are definitely can try to buy this bottom, this ultimate. During this range, we could be trying to be buying the support. If it does get to this support, then we know that it's going to be a very nice pullback, because if it does come here without pulling back for it is, then we're expecting a very beautiful pullback to the same point. So I think this could be sometimes of next year. So we're expecting a big pullback, and that pullback would just be equal or just be exactly about 61.8% of the pullback if it does come to the downside. So we just need to monitor. If it keeps on falling, then that's going to be a different story at all. So again, I'm just giving a sign for those who were selling this morning to say, perhaps as a short-term trader, you could be thinking that this is your ultimate, that this could be your ultimate. There it is. There could be when the fib zone is at 61.8. That's what you could get. That's exactly 38.2, perfect. So it looks like the return could be somewhere there. the return could be somewhere around this point for a very nice pullback. So one is expecting now the big return to be somewhere there, so that they can have a very nice pullback. If they don't, a nice pullback that does not have many things, just touch that point again, which was the neckline, and now it's going to be kind of the right shoulder there. Then from there, they will proceed to go to the downside. Remember, this price is on a free fall or is now bearish. So we say that there it is. Beautiful, beautiful market. So that's what we're waiting to see drop absolutely to the point where the price came, and it never went back again. So this could be the demand area that the demand and supply traders could have marked on the other side of the coin. So that's what you're looking to get right there. There's a very nice demand there. The scramble stretched, but finally got it. Looks like we're gonna be finding it at an equal head, equal shoulder on that part. But we are definitely on a free fall. Warning everybody who's thinking that the pound would still survive this. I just don't think it will. It will highly likely just get a pullback. So for the rest of the session, we're gonna have to monitor if that's what's gonna stay. Could be trapping some of the buyers. I'm not gonna be amongst those. Just have got to monitor on how it behaves, and then from there take it from there. But it looks, according to our technical analysis, it looks like it will want to settle somewhere on the lower side before it can go to the upper side. So we are waiting and we'll see. What pair would you like us to do? Which pair would you like us to consider? What would you like to do? It's now about 3 minutes to 5, and we are gonna be looking. There are no more news, by the way, today. We have got no news now waiting. So we're just gonna be waiting and seeing the free fall of this pound up to that. But if we can reach during the session again another lower low or another target on the lower side, then we could consider. For me, that's the big and the strongest support. The first one is not that strong because it can still just trigger a small correction, and the price may still continue to drop. But that's what we are monitoring. That's what we are monitoring together. That's the fall right there. Watching the fall, as they say. That's the fall of the giants. The pound has been on the new US dollar. That looks like the big momentum. Wouldn't be interested in countering it at the moment. Big momentum. Never at all would be interested in a counter of that movement. There it is. Passing, it could pass that point like it doesn't see it. Very good for those who traded this morning. If they are still on the trade, that's what we are watching. As I always tell you, I have been watching this pair from a long time ago. I have already regarded it as bearish. For those who are buying it, I've just been keeping to warn them that this is just a big bearish butterfly. The price will drop below the base. All right. If you can add the moving average, either moving average 200 or 50 on one of those, the price, you'll see that, yeah, there it is. The moving average that holds this butterfly is broken. The price will flock to the downside. The price is expected to break the base of the butterfly. Be warned. I'm looking at the daily butterfly. So in this case, be warned. This is not something that you need to try. We knew when the price was at the top that it will distribute there, not accumulate, but some of the people, they chose to call that area an accumulation point. They started buying lots of the pounds, and there is the pound coming to the downside. So apologies or sorry guys if this pair also went down with your account, but that's what we learn every time. We don't allow that accounts must be blown, but if they are, we hope that we're sorry, but let us learn the lessons. That's a bearish butterfly. You never try to buy on these patterns. You just wait to see for action, and we can see that there were serious order blocks at the top. So they were with divergence, by the way. So there was just no way, even if these buyers could have pushed perhaps to the 261.8 on the upside, they were still going to be facing lots of resistance if they could have gone to the upside. But in this case, the 5-wave structure was completed around there. In fact, it was completed around the 261.8 right there. So that's what we have been monitoring. Right. Free fall, GBP USD, be careful. Try to be buying the bottom perhaps. to bounce back to the same point, and then but we expect that the price will break the bottom and will continue to the downside. And we have just seen the demand level, the only price that could prevent a further movement, and there is the level, and there is the demand area. So we're expecting these guys to be stopping somewhere there. I'm hoping that's going to be the 200. Let me just check if this would not be the 200 daily moving average. All right, let's check. Could this be the 200 daily moving average as we teach? Let's go. This is the 200. I'm using the smoothed. I'm using the smoothed, the MA method, smooth applied to high. I could still drop it if I want to. There it is. Let me change the color. Looks like I could apply this to low because I just want to know that the lowest drop. Right, so this would be this can be our support. Let me give it just another color. Right, it could be our support. It looks the same. Let me just give it a bright, super color, deep pink. Let me take this one. All right, there it is. So we could be looking at just around this price, they're looking, currently they're looking at this price, but the averaging of the price could change anytime. So if this price would push from here to the upside, yes, it will be pushing the smooth moving average slightly higher, and we could be finding our support, rather our demand somewhere there. As it is right now, we're expecting the demand to be found somewhere around the 1.33. So we still left kind of with 500 pips from current levels, another 500 pips another 300 pips to the downside. But if it can pull back and we can get a sell from the top there, then we'll be looking for just about 500 pips. I think I might consider this as part of something that I can monitor for our market preview for the month of July, whether the pound would not bounce back, and then if it can happen in the next 2 weeks that it can go to the upside and find this level, I would definitely call for a sell on a Fibonacci right shoulder level. But then the stop loss cannot be anything less than 300 pips. So it must be around 300 just to be safe for a 500 pip. So just about 1:1.5. Right, what are you seeing? What would you like us to look at? There is the momentum, strong to the downside. The pound is continuing to plummet. If you want to counter it, good luck. At the moment, it can only be saved. There are no more news coming. So this is the moment. This is what we call the sentiments. The sentiments are continuing. The dollar bullish sentiment are continuing. Look at that. Third day in a row. Big moves of the dollar, right? Could something dampen it? Could this broken support hold as resistance? That's what we are waiting to see. Can it happen in the session? Can it happen perhaps after the session is ended? We never know. 3 days of massive buying of the dollar. The price of oil gives an opportunity on the other side for the final sell of the oil coming from that side. The USD CAD is now at, if the USD CAD is now at the resistance, then we know that something could be happening there. All right, there is another push. Wow, what a push of the dollar. What a demand. The dollar is unleashed. The dollar is on some mission. These sentiments are extremely dangerous. The dollar is going up, and it's very dangerous. There it is. Right, we're anticipating for a distribution or an accumulation there. Broke out before we can speak about. I'm telling you right now, this is an auto cruise, just like it did from this point. We are now watching another autopilot. The USD CAD is in the bag. The price is not returning anywhere soon. Now, this price is targeting 1.25888, right there at the top. That's where it's going to end the session. I don't see it coming back. I do not see USD CAD coming back at all during this session. I'm going to finish the session at the top. Only next week will it consider to drop or to consolidate. But I think there's a lot of volatility there. one is not expecting some consolidation. I think one should be expecting from the end of the trend there. That's routed. That's going to be the end of the trend. 1.2588 could be slightly up. 1.256, 1.26 would be the highest, but this is where the price is going to be hovering and hovering to stop it. What an amazing move by the USD CAD. Right. What do you want us to look at? Bounce on the 200 SMA to retest the 50 SMA limit. That's right. I'm on a buy of the Teboho. It's back, and Teboho is saying that you are buying the Dow Jones. Okay. Think that the Dow Jones. Wouldn't think it's a good move. That's my humble opinion, Teboho. It's not a good move to be buying the dollar indices when the dollar strength is as it is right now. Not a good move at all. But let me help you before it gets worse. Let's just go straight to it. I don't think that it's a good move to be buying. I don't think so. You see, the US, the Nasdaq, is because of this move. The Nasdaq is going to be losing that bit of hold that it did during the London session. There it is. It's not holding pretty nicely now. Okay, so be very careful. That's not a very nice hold there. This yesterday's bullish move is looking pretty good to hold the Nasdaq. But what the price, what the dollar is doing right now, it's definitely a risk to the upward movement of the indices. Just be careful about that. So, but let me just go to the Dow Jones and let's break it down together. All right, let's check again. Where would the Dow Jones go? I know the Dow Jones has dropped. Look at that. What to speak about in the morning, guys. Remember, I was speaking about the FTSE in the morning. Remember that part. Watch the FTSE. Watch what I said in the morning. I said if you could get the FTSE, get on it. I don't see it surviving this. It's even breaking the where it is. So this is something that could drag the entire market. Be careful. Currently, once one stock index like this, trembles like that, stocks are brothers and sisters. They are always catching each one else's flu. I mean, they're living in the same house pretty much. If one stock market drops, highly likely is that another one will. So they are catching the flu together. Let me go to the Dow Jones. I do not like the Dow Jones. So that's what I said. Not a good indication at all. I don't like that. And there is at the support. I would like to know what price have you bought. The momentum is heavy on this butterfly. The momentum is very heavy on the bottom of this butterfly. That's the only thing holding there, the bottom of this butterfly. So if that's the case, then you need to be very, very, very careful about that. I would definitely be cautious. I think you are trading on on some form of a thin stop loss right there. It is the moving average is holding, but I don't know, and I don't think that it would have the momentum to hold for a long time. So I would like to know the level at which you bought. This does not look good. This is a serious drilling. It's red. There's just, even if I can go to H4, I just don't see buyers. Not they tried to reject on this one. You can see the rejection. I was on the similar trade. I left out on break even because I could see red coming. Left out this morning after bought this moving average. Right now it went there, got happy, dropped back to the same point again, and I could see that does not look at all on H4 base on H4. For hourly still they did not show anything. This pin bar I loved, but at the same time the sellers were not looking good on it. Wearing heavily on this Dow Jones. So my idea is going to be, of course, monitor it on a daily time frame. But if the dollar does not find, just note that if the dollar does not find that resistance, it is going to be, that's okay. It looks very terrible. I would definitely monitor because the dollar seems not to be doing a very good thing right now. Because if this dollar would continue to do what it is, I mean, that USD Swiss franc is the one that we need to monitor. The momentum has just piled, and there are no more news coming through. If there are no more news coming through, so it means therefore that the market today will be riding on some sentiments, meaning that they will be riding on what they take from the London session. The London session are bearish the pound, and they have put all the money that they've had for the session into the dollar. So they have completely bet on the dollar themselves. So those sentiments are going to be wrapped and passed on into the market, into the New York session. So one is expecting that the sentiment of the bullish dollar should continue, even if it can be dampened, but it's not going to be for a very long time. All right, that's what I'm thinking. So nice hold of the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is resisting the fall, but can it? Who will help it? That's the question. The gold is holding the support. Who will help it? If the UJ is not sitting well, there's just no way that this price can go. The UJ has got to drop for gold to still go to the upside. But for as long as these prices keeps to going to the upside, and there's just no signal that they would want to drop, there is an attempt of the U there is an attempt of a bearish engulf on an hourly basis of the UJ. Perhaps this UJ wants to send a message for gold buyers to say, "I will defend you." Remember, if that price of gold starts to go up, then that will be the best opportunity to look for those bullish candles that will start forming on the Dow Jones. The Nasdaq is holding up tight on that support. It could be waiting, just waiting. There it is. Could be waiting for the final touch. There is the touch. If the euro dollar does not hold the price here, we've got a serious problem. If the euro dollar does not hold the price here, I do not see Nasdaq surviving. I don't see the Dow Jones surviving. None of those indices of the US will survive the onslaught. This must be the end of the bus. If these guys can pass here and finish the session lower, we are going to be seeing bloodshed in the stock markets next week. I'm warning. That's what I'm just doing. That's what I'm here for. If this point would not hold, we could be up for a big problem next week. All right. That's what you're looking for. Others could be looking for this point. This point is a negative point. At this point, you are technically negative. Okay, that's what I said. So what I said on Wednesday, I said that the euro must have held this point. All right, and I said it's gonna be bearish on this point. So it is. That's exactly what happened. You know. But then if it can drop here, so the low, the low is highly possible. So one does not see the price. One then does not see the price of gold going up anytime soon. And that's what I'm going to be showing you right now. So remember, all these things, all these barriers that we've been doing, buying the indices, we have been buying all these indices at the expense of the weakness of the dollar. Clement knows that very well. Clement knows that very well. Those who are trading with Clement, you are trading with one of the knowledgeable traders that we have. So he knows that very well. He traded the indices for the longest time and found a correlation between the Nasdaq and the USD ZAR. The USD ZAR has said goodbye. Just hit right now, just hit the 1426, which is the resistance. And that's why the Nasdaq was holding on to its support, because if the USD ZAR drops from that 1426 level, then the Nasdaq could still hold their support, still at support. Don't worry. They have sent a signal there before the USD ZAR came. They have sent a bullish Marubozu that broke out, that broke and showed themselves outside and look at the new territory on the upside. Will the head be cut, or will the head continue to grow and become a fully fledged trend? This could be very impressive for the Nasdaq, because if the Nasdaq can break this point, home is home. Let me just show you, as I promised from the channel. If the Nasdaq can break this point, it will break in also Silas's bearish pattern there, which is the pattern that shows that the price could go to the downside. It's a fall. It's a rising wedge. And I said to him that yes, it's a good signal. I fully agree with him. We know we are in this together. In some of the people, they say this is like a falling wedge, so it should be dropping to the bottom if you put it like that. So we hope, Clement, that's not what you're talking about. But because the USD ZAR has found resistance, because the USD ZAR has found resistance, if this price can break above this resistance, good luck. We are going to be having a good Nasdaq for the rest of the week and possibly 2 weeks, because then we are looking for not just a new high, but a very nice higher high. I broke it down. I've answered it. So tell those who may want to sell with no signal that could be bad. So we're going to be looking at 15,651 to the upside. We could be looking at 15,650 to the upside. I've just answered it right now. So that's what we're looking at, guys. Beautiful, beautiful Nasdaq session. Right. So I'm out. Okay, the process is out at 33331 on the Dow Jones. Congratulations, buddy. Let's look at that. So that's how the Nasdaq is looking like. Anything from here. The USD ZAR has got the keys. The USD ZAR has got the keys to the Nasdaq. You see, those who know correlation knows where the keys are. When you're just trying to look for the when you're trying to look purely for the when you're trying to look purely for the chart, others are looking somewhere. Those who know this are looking here. There it is. Clement, this does not look like it's good news. These guys are breaking the 261. Ladies and gentlemen, as we watch right now, if I were you, I would go to the Nasdaq right now. There is the supply. This supply is big. Never, though it's used, remember, but it was used heavily from that point. This is the supply that was used to take the price to the 1338, to the 1340. Now the US dollar is punishing it. The US dollar is punishing that supply. It says, I will never be in supply. It could even be making it a demand area. Be very careful. Remember, our forecast is saying if the price comes from the 15 level, 1492 is the target. From 1425, it breaks this level. Clement, 1492 is the level. 1492, 1495, 15. Anything is possible. Wow, what a market. Ooh. I think here the ZAR, all pairs would be saying the dollar does not allow us to breathe. Yes, they got punished, but what a retaliation. This is the best momentum of the dollar in 6 months. I'm talking momentum. It is big, big momentum. Look at that candle. It's converting and making, this is going to be the second demand in 1 week. Second demand of the dollar in 1 week. Okay, it is now turning the supply to be the demand. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. This is sending the Nasdaq into big problems. The Nasdaq is sent into problems. Okay, there you go. One support gone. It's targeting this one. From where the dollar sits right now, it is going to clear this one. This is going to be cleared. The way that the dollar ZAR is going, this area is going to be cleared. 14013 will be cleared because the USD ZAR is digging and is digging into the supply, making it to be resistance. I don't see any sellers. Watch. See no sellers anyway. They come, they get cleared. Watch. That's a clearance right there. What you're watching right now, it's a clearance. They try to come. Those are the pin bars. We can see this candle completely burying all these bearish signals. If you sold, get out immediately. If you sold 1427, 1425, it's only few pips up. Get out. Never will stay in a market like this. Even if another bearish candle come 30 pips on the negative, I would get out. Does not look good at all. The dollar fight is intense. Okay, that's intense. Right, that's one. So once it clears that point, completely clear, start trading and using the 1426 as support. That's what we're going to be monitoring. Once you start using the 1426 as support, right, we can monitor this on M15 and on M5, whichever it is. There it is. It is using it used 1422 as support. There it is. It used 1422, 1423 as support, and there's the resistance breaking. So does not look good, right? If it does use this point again, which is breaking now, the resistance broken, 1429, 1430, it is using its support. I'm going to M1. That's how we do that. There is this, sitting on it. Watch. Sitting on 1429. There it is. USD ZAR sitting, using 1429 as the support, launching to the upside. This is not even the beginning. There's the wave structure. That's one. That's two. That it has not even found 3 and 4. You still need to look for 3 and 4 to the upside. I'm talking about. Amazing, amazing, amazing. That's what we are witnessing. amazing market. Okay, so you are on the if you are on the if you are watching the USDs are, and then the other pairs, then you can be sure that it is going down. The dollar is hitting it. Could this be a harmonics pattern to the negative side? Could this be a harmonics? We'll wait and see. But there it is. There it is. There it is. There is the breakout that you are watching together. You are watching this. Right, now at 1430. Right, remember the 1429 is the M1 support. It's the M1 support. Don't look at the candle like that. This candle is massive. Okay, so guys, that's what you're looking at. Clement, my friend, there it is. We could be set. Not time to buy yet. It's not time to buy us yet. Remember, it's still slightly late. Where would you buy? You should wait for the price to keep moving up. Perhaps there can be an opportunity for you to see some form of consolidation right there at the top. As long as this 1426 is used as support, you would be good, because then there are some traps right there. I will share with you some other traps. There are some traps that when we adjust, excuse me, when we adjust the Fibonacci to the wicks of the candle on H4, the price could still turn at 1433, but the 1430.26 was the good one. But there are some still wicks that were left there. Can you see when we use the wicks? We used the line chart. When you use the line chart, that's a breakout. Okay, but when you use the wicks, there's still that's why you need to wait for the price to clear the zone completely. So this price must get up. That's why I'm not for breakout. I'm still encouraging those. If you are for breakout, this is the opportunity. The 1425, 1426 has been cleared for, and it's been using as support. So it's a nice ride. Watch that. Beautiful ride. 1426 was a super price according to the line chart. There it is. Beautiful resistance. Retested, tested once, broken out. The price flooded to the upside. Okay, those joining us again right now who just been joining us, welcome, guys. We are already about 40 minutes into the session. The session started some earlier. There are no more news coming today. It is only the big news coming through later today. Okay, so let's get it done. Give us the pair that you want us to look at as I take a break. If you're joining us again, guys, welcome. We are looking at a ruthless, no messy dollar. Oh my goodness! You know what? I think when I'm seeing this, I know that the Swiss franc is also being punished as it is. If you have attended some of our courses, you will know that when we look at the dollar doing this, then we know that other hedge currencies, aren't doing that very well, especially the Swiss franc, because the Swiss franc is the hedge currency, the number one hedge currency, which is opposite. So basically, we are just saying that the Swiss franc is inversely correlated to the dollar in terms of currency to currency, not the euro, but the Swiss franc. The Swiss franc gains way too more, and though the euro gains, but the euro is more like a service currency, while the Swiss franc is looked more as a hedge currency, because that's where we store our money when our money is not at work. So if I can go check what's happening with the Swiss franc right now, I'm going to be seeing problems there, We're going to be seeing serious problems of the Swiss franc, Japanese yen. Watch that. Just going to show you how we put it down. We look at how the euro is getting a punishing. And then there it is. All right, there it is. There's the Swiss franc getting a punishing. Just much. We do this all the time. We expected this. So one was expecting the punishment of the Swiss franc, but I never thought it would be at this rate. That's what I never expected. I must admit, I never expected that the Swiss franc could move 400 pips in a matter of few days. It's a 400 pips from that top, going to the bottom. All right. We're sharing this together. These are my charts. They're done some long time ago. I've shared this chart some long time ago, left with few pips to reach that 400. I hope it does not finish lower. Just 100 pips correlation comes into play. There's the 400 pips that the Swiss franc Japanese yen has achieved in a matter of 3 days. 1, 2, you can see them. Look at those candles. Look at those candles. Just look at those candles. 1, 2, 3. Yesterday was bloodshed. The devaluation of the Swiss franc against the dollar was on another level. So 3 big moves from Wednesday night until tonight, until today. That has been such an onslaught on the Swiss franc. It's definitely going to be looking to get some support at the previous supply that was not fulfilled. There was the supply. So there it was supposed, but that's according to us for the session. That's too far-fetched. I don't expect any immediate reaction. Who will be buying the Swiss franc during the New York session? If you are the one, good luck. I don't see any buyers of the Swiss franc during the New York session. Very scarce to find them. We find them during the London session or during the Euro session. I don't expect capital at all. And if the New York can keep digging and dig and claim back the supply, we could see an onslaught again. We could see the extension of this pair right there to the bottom. And the USD Swiss franc will never recover. Trust me, there would not be any recovery there. So it is approaching some form of support. It is support. So we're expecting the Swiss franc against the Japanese yen to be finding some support. But what does it mean? It means that money is now moving to the dollar currency and its allies. So the dollar currency and allied currencies, that's where the strength is going. So money is going to the Japanese yen, moving away from the gold. Money is going to the pound alternatively. So this is the group of allies, USD, Japanese yen third, second, and then next is going to be the pound. When both of those currencies lose strength, it is going to be the pound that gains it. Look at what the pound has done over some time. The pound has represented them very well. So the pound, part of the pound gains can be passed on and be given. The pound is choosing to give part of their gains. So during the time when the dollar was weak, the pound gained the whole amount, just about 2,700 points. And now part of those gains, it's gonna be giving it back to the dollar. So it is giving this benefit to the dollar and to the Japanese yen largely. So I am very opportunistic in some of the markets. That I would there it is. We're also expecting that it should be dropping, and reaching the 144. We are still at 152. This is the fall of the pound against the Japanese yen. So largely weakness of the allies of the three in favor of the Japanese yen and in favor of the dollar. This is how we do correlation. So all this has been playing out for now more than many years. That's what we look for, right? So you there, let us know which pair would you like us to look at together. All right, so that's what we're looking at right now. We are now looking at the dollar currencies, and let's look at it together. The Nasdaq, there it is, the dollar. All right, there's the dollar Swiss franc. There it is. The dollar Swiss franc seems to have reached this. I wouldn't call it a soft one, but based on the space that is left for the Swiss franc yen, perhaps the price could pass. Remember, by inverse correlation, the euro dollar is here. Okay, by inverse correlation, the euro dollar has reached this point, and the dollar Swiss franc has still not reached that point. So the dollar Swiss franc is likely to pass this point as the euro dollar has done when it was falling, and then it could find there. So basically, the euro is already afraid. I mean, the euro dollar is already running away from the strength. It's already taken way too much beating. There it is. Like I said, it is there. That's exactly where it is already. This is the point. This is the point. So the euro dollar has already taken too much. The Nasdaq is bowing now to the pressure put on it by is now bowing to there it is. The Nasdaq is now bowing to the pressure put on it by the USD ZAR. There it is. It's letting go. It has been holding, waiting for some buyers. nobody to help them. Found the resistance. Silas, spot on. Back on your resistance, found it again. So in this case, this is the area where it tried to scramble like it tried to do before. This is a bearish Nasdaq. We could be seeing now momentum just piling, and the USDs are pushing itself to the high level, and that level I see is the 15 pair. That's the level which they thought that is going to be the fair value of the dollar against the ZAR. They thought that 14 it is. Now we can tell them that it's going to 15, 14.92, 14.95. That is why it's going. All right. That's the USD. That's the USD. That's the USD. Think this. Let go. It's not gonna work. It's falling. It did not break out, unless if it can surprise that after the session, after this session. This is what Silas has been monitoring as the indicator. Silas, the indicator himself, has been monitoring these levels all the time. If this price only can break above this point, we are going to be seeing a double whammy to the upside. So could be something like this. Yeah, it is this. Then just on top of that resistance, it was going to be building up on top of it just to adjust it to the higher side. That's what we're going to be looking at. Will it? Remember, now not nothing is lost, because this trend is lost only when or if the price would break below this point. It is not yet there. So in that case, the Nasdaq falling from here, it is going to the support of the same channel, and it could, you have seen it do it before. So it is just moving from this resistance and it's coming back right here. There it's going to launch another one, and this I think is going to be when the USDs are. I think according to my analysis, I'm happy that we are recording all this. This is the 13, we are on 14, but 13.5, and I think the USD would be somewhere at 14. Let me write it there. USD would be at 415 or 14.95. That's the journey. The journey is going to be the USD Clement. The USD at this price is expected to be around 14.95 and 15. Right, that's what's that. If that's the case, then the USD will fall big, and that fall will determine how far, whether the Nasdaq will have the power to break and to break that level and take it far lower or far higher, and break that resistance. We'll see then. So everything is awaiting. When the price comes here, the USD will be around 14.95, and you'll have reached the resistance there, which is the fading level. The drop might be big because the USD should lose just about 60% of that gain, and this guy does not need 60% to go on the upside. So I would be very cautious to say that the Nasdaq would lose the trend. Okay, I'd be very, but we'll see it. It is bearish, I must acknowledge, but we'll see if the dollar, if the USD does not fall big around that level, then the USD tech could just save. But yes, currently we are seeing a highly likely that the Nasdaq should push back to the 13.5 from the 14,000 psychological level. So they must go and garner some more support. Remember, this will be a triple bottom. Okay, this 13.5 will be the triple bottom, and this triple bottom would be a threat to the triple top, because then that's triple top. It's going to be triple bottom against the triple top. Who will win? Currently, advantage to the sellers. I must just put it like that. Clement knows how I'd put it. So there it is. That's a cruise. Oil must drop. So USD CAD going to 1.25. And USDs are going to 14.5. I think that's how the session is going to be ending. For me, I just don't see anything exciting anymore in the session, because one is expecting to see the onslaught of the USD out until the end of the session. That's how it is put. It's written everywhere. I just see this USD finishing this off. That's a cruise of the USD ZAR. Nothing stopping it, for the USD CAD. Nothing stopping it. Moving gradually, 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 gradually until it finishes at the top. That's where it's going. It's going to finish there, stop there. Perhaps the session will end as we finish around midnight tonight, and the price of USD CAD will be at the top. I hope this does not happen, that when we come over the weekend, come from the weekend, we may find more bullish news and we find the dollar having gapped up from these levels, because the devaluation of the dollar has taken way too long. So I hope that does not happen. Remember, guys, that the dollar has been taking a battering from the CAD for the longest time. You see this? You see this? Watch that. So it is possible that the dollar may recover everything in a short period of time, you know. So that's what we're gonna be monitoring. There's still a lot to be gained there. All right. At least we must move about 60% of this, the speed at which it moves. So I would definitely be worried to go against this. The stochastics of the weeklies is just starting. The momentum, the stochastics of the weeklies is just starting to turn. Just starting to turn, not turn. Just there it is. Just showing to the upside. That's a big, 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 big gain right there. So the shortest level that this could go to, oh yeah, the dailies are now gone. So we should be expecting a stop at the 1.2588 because the daily stochastics is gone. So then a slight pullback when the Nasdaq will be recovering and the oil, then we will monitor from there. Any questions, guys? Any questions? I'm ready to take any questions. Any pen? Any questions? Any comment?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Sure. We are fine, Mr. Indicate. How's it?
Great, thanks.
Well,
I'm not sure what you shared yet because I'm having some.
I can see, I can hear.
Yes,
I hope they're enjoying the session.
I'm definitely enjoying the session. I've got a beautiful chart here that maybe I might just share with you on the Telegram.
Not a problem. We can hold it here. Let's hold it.
Actually, using the mobile phone because the computer is actually not catching the network that
Okay.
easily. So I'm gonna send
Not
you
a
the chart.
problem.
Which will
Send
actually
it
share.
Telegram, and then if I can get it before the end of the session, I will show to the guys.
Yes, in a moment, sir.
Not a problem. What would you like us to look at, guys? Just drop us a pair. We'll look at it.
In a moment, you should receive it on your Telegram, sir.
What would you like us to do? We've got 20 minutes, guys, to wrap up. If there's anything that you want us to look at, just let us know. Are you going to share the screen, Mr. Murara, or should I from my side? Or are we waiting for you?
You're waiting for me. I'm gonna share it with you in a minute on
All right.
Telegram.
No problem.
Yes. Yes, sir. I think you should see it from your Telegram, and you could share it from your screen because my Wi-Fi is not that powerful this side.
Just got it now. I hope it's gonna work from here because I cannot get the. Can you see it?
I can see your Telegram, but it's gonna open it now in a minute.
Let me stop the share and I don't know how do I. It's just gonna be showing the
Picture, yeah.
only the. I hope the picture will be big enough. Let me share again. Right. What we're gonna be seeing is the. I think I'm not able to get the picture because this app now it just shows it like this. Because if I click on it, it does not show it as a big file. Makes
Okay,
sense.
maybe open the picture there inside the Telegram, sir.
Right. That's what I did before, and when I click the picture, I'm losing the.
Or
Can you
using
see
the.
it? Yeah.
All right.
Can you see it? Yeah.
I can see it, but alternatively, what we can do is you can
I made
download
it big.
the.
So on my side, it's a big screen, but then on the sharing side, it's still small. So, but for me, it's only a picture.
Okay, so
Yeah.
maybe what we can do is on the download the picture in the Telegram and then open
Yes.
it as a picture, like it will open. Then
I
you can
think so
share
too. I
it.
think let me save it. Let me
Yes.
save it somewhere on my desktop first, and then we can then I can work it with I can work with it like that. Right. Let me look for it first. I must open it first, right?
Yes, you can open it. Yeah.
Right.
Then you share.
There it is. Right. Should be.
There it is. It's a chart, a beautiful chart of the GBP USD, as you can see there, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
So what
So
I'm
you
looking.
think, yeah. You think
What
it can go and make another high
it either can go and make another high, or because it
or
has
break? It has
the
already made the triple top, yeah, because
yes,
that looks like it's a triple top.
yes.
Yeah.
And what I'm also seeing is the fact that this chart has actually um, broken the bullish pattern that could have actually lifted it up as well.
Yes, that's the
So
worry there.
yes, now that's the worry there. So what I'm actually seeing is now that it's on support, two supports, all the horizontal supports as well as the trend line support. You know, the inner trend line, the
Yeah.
inside. So I'm thinking
Yes.
around that area there gives a lot of room or potential for this market to do a bit of bounce back
It-
towards the
yeah.
resistance where it broke.
Is it the GBP, JPY, or GPUSD?
That's the GBP JPY chart, sir.
Yeah, that's the Japanese yen. Yeah. No, yeah,
Yes,
absolutely. Yes, yes, yes.
yes. So that's the Japanese yen chart, and I'm thinking in very logical terms that it
Yeah.
horizontal support that we're looking at there.
Mm.
Put the price back up just under the pennant or the bullish flag, just to retest it to say hello, goodbye, and then come back down towards the what's the price level here? Let me actually quickly
Good.
check. Towards the 149.218
Sure.
with
I
the
see that. Yeah.
demand zone there. So I
I
think
see that.
it would make a very beautiful chart
Yeah.
for big sessions, especially just to see how the market is going to respond if the GP,
Absolutely.
do a
Yeah.
bit of feedback.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I like that. But then I wish it was happening like this, but not very far from the bottom. It has happened at very, very, very top. So, and those tops could be exhausted because this price has not done a correction. But I
Yes,
like what your analysis. So, in this case, the highly likely will be anybody trying to buy at this level would definitely be taking more risk than anybody trying to sell. You
I'm
know,
not. I'm not even interested in the sell. I'm interested in the retest of that.
of the top, the
Yes,
final top to sell rather.
Yes. So,
Yeah, because buying would be absolutely risky, right?
yes.
Now, buying at these levels would be absolutely risky. I agree with you. Yeah. I
Yes.
think it would be either sell the top or wait for the wedge to break and then sell.
Definitely. That is
Absolutely. No,
me too.
absolutely. Fully agree. So
Yes.
basically, we're looking for the bearish kind of a entry. Whether the market will delay that or fast track that, I fully agree with you. So, and I think because it's approaching that support, one should be monitoring to check if in this session or on Monday's London session, whether
Yes.
this triple that, because now it's double, it's coming to the triple bottom. If the
Yes.
triple bottom will hold, if it does hold, whether it can break above this bullish flag, which is less likely, because once the bullish flag is broken, the big challenge would be this support must try to enter the price into the bullish flag, and that's going to be a tower for the buyers, in a negative sentiment. When the GBP USD, is going to be going down. But yes, I think that the good sell will be to wait for this wedge support to break.
Yes. And
Yeah,
also, what I'm actually noticing is that there was a April 4, April 4 resistance towards
sure.
the left there, which is
Yeah.
the one broke now, which is where the selling was happening.
Yes, 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 yes.
It actually
Yes.
tracked for people going what's now that I think it's deserving to go back and correct that and say, well, this was actually the top. We just, went out to the hunt up there.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely right. I wish I could. Yeah, I got it. I think you got it right there.
Yes.
Right. Let me just share it because I got it now. So I
That's
think what you are checking there. So basically, in your instance, you've got something like this. Let me get this one. Right. So in this case, in your instance, is this flag that this flag, by the way, as you put it rightfully so, it was broken. There it is. There was the retest of the flag to say goodbye of
yes.
this bullish flag. So the price went, I think you're looking at an H4 basis. So you
Yes.
are looking at this support holding. That's what you're looking at. It
Yes.
could hold, yes, it could hold, and then going to retest that one on the upper side, which is for me, I call it the less likely, because then it could still use this to go and find I would rather look at also this, to rather look at this, you see,
Mm.
that, yeah, anyway, but you're correct, because then that trend line seems to be bending, like I don't like it. So I think I'll keep it as an opening one, and then keep it like that. But it's coming to the support right there, and then bounce back, and then it's going to be finding a problem inside here. So that
Yeah.
which I would like you to put attention to is that the price has reached the fading level. So I don't think that it can even want to go any further up, because
Yes.
the fading level was this point, and then it perhaps could be using the third point. If you use
Mm.
this, then that's where it can go and look for that higher high that you're looking for there at the top. So we'll be seeing which one is it interested in. But interesting. Thank you very much for that. GBP There it is, guys.
JPY.
Right. Nice. Thank you for that, Morera. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Welcome.
Right. So that's the pound. I think let's keep monitoring it on the London sessions, because as it stays right now, if anything could go, there is the pound holding that support, but you can see that it has completely averted, as you can see, Morera, it has averted the fall, because the pound dollar is supposed to fall after this uptrend was broken. Instead of flocking, it went to the upside. It may, during that time, if the GBPY would go take that route, then it means that, even because they go together, so it
Yes.
means that the GBP USD should also go and retest these kind of broken support resistance for the last time. That is going to have to be the theory before it drops. So in this case, we need to be seeing a hell of a lot of the selling again of the US dollar for that to happen, because these movements are fueled by the weakness of the dollar. So the dollar has got not just to stop, but the dollar has got to lose beyond its current gain for this week. So we need to be going to check all of those triggers on the dollar pairs. So if the USD CAD will break below the USD Swiss franc, break below this current support, then we can definitely say that GBP, JPY, remember, as I've just said, then that GBP, the pound will then gain all those strengths that the dollar is losing. That's how they exchange their gain. So, but that's that's a very good one. Nothing it's taken for granted in the market. So that could be a likelihood. So, and then it means that then the indices, then as you just rightly put it, because that's the only thing, that's one of the things that can help the Nasdaq to push, to push to from that bottom, but then it will defy the odds, because if the dollar could fall at the rate at which you expect, if the GBP JPY goes up, then you are seeing the indices coming back again and making new highs.
Yes,
That's the same theory.
there's another possibility in theory. But I just saw the chart that you were showing us before. I'm not sure if it is gold.
Yeah. Yeah, no, gold has got the potential to to go back to the 2000. I think you are spot on, because if gold shows, let me just show it to you. I was going to be talking about gold before, guys. I need to go at 6 o'clock, need to attend to family matters. So if I can just finish this off, gold seems to be poised to go to a higher high, because gold is still holding on to the bullish side of this flag. So there is a merit on that case. I must acknowledge that, because gold is not negative. Gold is still positive. Gold is pulling back and is still holding on to this positivity that I see it could still pounce to go to the new high. So definitely I agree with you.
And
If gold, yeah,
I see it hanging on to a shoulder line there for dear life.
it would definitely. It is holding. This one definitely supposed to be held. This level definitely to be held. Definitely. And this could launch it to go to a new high. I'm a full agree with you. If this scenario would play out, then that GBP, JPY, GBP, USD scenario of yours will definitely play out. Absolutely. Because it means that the dollar needs to make some new lows. Remember, if the gold can make new highs or back to the new highs, then the only way that could happen is that the dollar must make new lows, meaning that this price must now come from anywhere from these levels if it's going to go, because the gold has already reached these levels. So this is the dollar Swiss franc. Then the dollar Swiss franc should drop from this point and it should go and make new lows. That's what I'm trying to say. It must come and make new lows before it can go up.
Yes.
The euro dollar is also holding to the same point. I'm seeing your argument. This looks like gold. This is the same as gold, holding to these levels, then go up, go to the record highs. Because as I always say, for me, the euro dollar is still on a markup cycle before it can distribute around June, July.
Yes.
Sure.
All right.
Mr. Moreira, thank you so much. And for everybody joining us, I've got an emergency. I need to go and attend to something right now. I think if there's anything that other guys can do, you can continue with them, as I just have got to attend some other things. I enjoyed the session with you guys. Thank you so much. We meet Tuesday for the London session. But I think if there are any other pairs that they want, I don't know if you can share the screen from your side so that they can look at.
All right, so I'm on the mobile version of this, so I'm unable to, because my computer decided to have some network card issues, so I need to sort that out before.
Not a problem. Okay, then the guys I can see that some of the guys are beginning to join in right now. Guys, we've been now about 1 hour 15 minutes into this session, and that does not seems like there's going to be any new information coming through from the market. The dollar will finish strong. Either it holds the current levels if there's no more new capital coming in, or it continues slightly to the downside to wipe some people out, to wipe the hopes for next week that is going to be coming strong. But according to our analysis, there is a chance that the dollar could stop here, and next week we could be seeing the dollar, or perhaps those who were beating the dollar, coming back, meaning that we could be seeing. I think for me, Mr. Moreira, as I finish it, for me, the gold has given it everything away. I was going to share with the guys this version. For me, gold gave it away. That this is where gold will not allow. I don't see gold dropping below this level at all. I don't see that happening, because it's also a weekly support. Gold is heavily supported. This is the retest. this is the retest we've been waiting for on a weekly, for this bullish flag to be retested. And I think they will be loving to be retested at the fib zone and to launch another ABCD move at least. So that's what we know. That's exactly what gold wants to launch. And it could even be bigger than that. So I think gold is happy that it's getting this kind of a pattern. So it's not very good for Powell. I don't think that it was his intention. His intention as the Fed was not to strengthen the dollar, but just to do monetary policies. But this can still send gold for the last final wave to the bullish side before the drop. Guys, thank you so much. Morara, last comment. I need to go.
I'm actually absolutely happy with that analysis that I'm seeing there.
You guys don't like the dollar, right? But also the US don't like to get the strength of the dollar now. Guys, thank you so much for joining us again tonight. Until we meet next week, have a good weekend and keep safe. Let there be pips.
Let there be pips.
Cheers.